Ray. What do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Way of Abundance by Florence Scovel Shinn. The way of abundance is a one-way street. As the old saying is, there are no two ways about it. You are either heading for lack or heading for abundance. The man with a rich consciousness and the man with a poor consciousness are not walking on the same mental street. There is a lavish supply, divinely planned for each individual. The rich man is tapping it, for rich thoughts produce rich surroundings. Change your thoughts, and in the twinkling of an eye, all your conditions change. Your world is a world of crystallized ideas, crystallized words. Sooner or later, you reap the fruits of your words and thoughts. Words are bodies or forces which move spirally and return in due season to cross the lives of their creators. People who are always talking lack and limitation reap lack and limitation. You cannot enter the kingdom of abundance bemoaning your lot. I know a woman who had always been limited in her ideas of prosperity. She was continually making her old clothes do instead of buying new clothes. She was very careful of what money she had and was always advising her husband not to spend so much. She said repeatedly, "I don't want anything I can't afford." She couldn't afford much, so she didn't have much. Suddenly, her whole world cracked up. Her husband left her, wary of her nagging and limited thoughts. She was in despair when one day she came across a book on metaphysics. It explained the power of thought and words. She realized that she had invited every unhappy experience by wrong thinking. She laughed heartily at her mistakes and decided to profit by them. She determined to prove the law of abundance. She used what money she had fearlessly to show her faith in her invisible supply. She relied upon God as the source of her prosperity. She no longer voiced lack and limitation. She kept herself feeling and looking prosperous. Her old friends scarcely recognized her. She had swung into the way of abundance. More money came to her than she had ever had before. Unheard of doors opened. Amazing channels became visible. She became very successful in a work she had had no training for. She found herself on miracle ground. What had happened? She had changed the quality of her words and thoughts. She had taken God into her confidence and into all her affairs. She had made 11th-hour demonstrations, but her supply always came, for she dug her ditches and gave thanks without wavering. Someone called me up recently and said, "I am looking desperately for a position." I replied, "Don't look desperately for it. Look for it with praise and thanksgiving. For Jesus Christ, the greatest of metaphysicians, said to pray with praise and thanksgiving. Praise and thanksgiving open the gates, for expectancy always wins. Of course, the law is impersonal, and a dishonest person with rich thoughts will attract riches. But a thing ill got has ever bad success, as Shakespeare says. It will be of short duration and will not bring happiness. We have only to read the papers to see that the way of the transgressor is hard. That is the reason it is so necessary to make your demands a right of the universal supply and ask for what is yours by divine right and under grace in a perfect way. Some people attract prosperity, but cannot hold it. Sometimes their heads are turned. Sometimes they lose it through fear and worry. A friend in one of my question and answer classes told this story. Some people in his hometown who had always been poor suddenly struck oil in their backyard. It brought great riches. The father joined the country club and went in for golf. He was no longer young, the exercise was too much for him, and he dropped dead on the links. This filled the whole family with fear. They all decided they might have heart trouble, so they are now in bed with trained nurses watching every heartbeat. In the world we live in, people force themselves to worry about something. They no longer worried about money, so they shifted their worries to health. The old idea was that you can't have everything. If you've got one thing, you lose another. People were always saying, Your luck won't last. It's too good to be true. Jesus Christ said, in the world thought, there is tribulation. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world thought. In the superconsciousness, there is a lavish supply for every demand, and your good is perfect and permanent. If thou return to the Almighty, thou shalt be built up in consciousness. Thou shalt put away iniquity far from thy tabernacles. Then shalt thou lay up gold as dust, the gold of Ophir, as the stones of the brooks. Yea, the Almighty shall be thy defense, and thou shalt have plenty of silver. What a picture of opulence! The result of returning to the Almighty in consciousness. With the average person who has thought in terms of lack for a long time, it is very difficult to build up a rich consciousness. I have a student who has attracted great success by making the statement, I am the daughter of the King. My rich Father now pours out His abundance upon me. I am the daughter of the King. Everything makes way for me. Many people put up with limited conditions because they are too lazy, mentally, to think themselves out of them. You must have a great desire for financial freedom. You must feel yourself rich. You must see yourself rich. You must continually prepare for riches. Become as a little child and make believe you are rich. You are then impressing the subconscious with expectancy. The imagination is man's workshop, the scissors of the mind, where he is constantly cutting out the events of his life. The superconscious is the realm of inspiration, revelation, illumination, and intuition. Intuition is usually known as a hunch. I do not apologize for the word hunch anymore. It is now in Webster's latest dictionary. I had a hunch to look up hunch, and there it was. The superconscious is the realm of perfect ideas. The great genius captures his thoughts from the superconscious. Without the vision, imagination, my people perish. When people have lost the power to image their good, they perish or go under. If people are depending entirely on their visible supply, it is even better to throw it away and trust absolutely to the Almighty for gold, silver, and riches. I give an example in the story told by my friend. A priest went to visit an orphanage in France where they fed many children. One of the nuns, in despair, told the priest they had no food. The children must go hungry. She said that they had but one piece of silver, about the value of $0.25. They needed food and clothing. The priest said, "Give me the coin." She handed it to him, and he threw it out the window. "Now," he said, "rely entirely upon God." Within a short time, friends arrived with plenty of food and gifts of money. This doesn't mean to throw away what money you have, but don't depend upon it. Depend upon your invisible supply, the bank of the imagination. Let us now attach ourselves to God and have peace, for He shall be our gold, our silver, and our riches. The inspiration of the Almighty shall be my defense, and I shall have plenty of silver always. What do you expect? According to your faith, be it unto you. Matthew chapter 9, verse 29. Faith is expectancy. What do you expect? We might say, according to your expectancies, be it done unto you. So, what are you expecting? We hear people say, we expect the worst to happen, or the worst is yet to come. They are deliberately inviting the worst to come. We hear others say, I expect a change for the better. They are inviting better conditions into their lives. Change your expectancies, and you change your conditions. How can you change your expectancies when you have formed the habit of expecting loss, lack, or failure? Begin to act as if you expected success, happiness, and abundance. Prepare for your good. Do something to show you expect it to come. Active faith alone will impress the subconscious. If you have spoken the word for a home, prepare for it immediately, as if you hadn't a moment to lose. Collect little ornaments, tablecloths, etc., etc. I knew a woman who made the giant swing into faith by buying a large armchair. A chair meant business. She bought a large and comfortable chair, for she was preparing for the right man. He came. Someone will say, suppose you don't have the money to buy ornaments or a chair. Then look in the shop windows and link with them in thought. Get in the vibration. Match the frequency. I sometimes hear people say, I don't go into shops because I can't afford to buy anything. That is just the reason why you should go into the shops. Begin to make friends with the things you desire or require. I know a woman who wanted a ring. She went boldly to the ring department and tried on rings. It gave her such a realization of ownership that not long after, a friend made her a gift of a ring. You combine with what you notice. Keep on noticing beautiful things and you make an invisible contact. What you focus on grows. Sooner or later, these things are drawn into your life, unless you say, poor me, it's too good to be true. My soul, wait only on God, for my expectation is from Him. This is a most important statement from the 62nd Psalm. The soul is the subconscious mind, and the psalmist was telling his subconscious to expect everything directly from the universal, not to depend upon doors and channels. My expectations is from Him. God cannot fail, for His ways are ingenious. His methods are sure. You can expect any seemingly impossible good from God if you do not limit the channels. Do not say how you want it done or how it can't be done. God is the giver and the gift and creates His own amazing channels. Take the following statement. I cannot be separated from God the giver. Therefore, I cannot be separated from God the gift. The gift is God in action. Get the realization that every blessing is good in action, and see God in every face and good in every situation. This makes you master of all conditions. A woman came to me saying that there was no heat in the radiators in their apartment, and that her mother was suffering from the cold. She added, the landlord has declared that we can't have heat until a certain date. I replied, God is your landlord. She said, that's all I want to know, and rushed out. That evening the heat was turned on without asking. It was because she realized that the landlord was God in manifestation. This is a wonderful age, for people are becoming miracle-minded. It is in the air. People are beginning to realize the power of their words and thoughts. They understand why faith is the substance of the thing hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We see the law of expectancy working out through superstition. If you walk under a ladder and expect it to give you bad luck, it will give you bad luck. The ladder is quite innocent. Bad luck came because you expected it. We might say, expectancy is the substance of the things hoped for, or expectancy is the substance of the thing man fears. The thing I expected has come upon me. Nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is too wonderful to happen. Nothing is too good to last when you look to God for your good. Now think of the blessings which seem so far off and begin to expect them now, under grace, in an unexpected way. For God works in unexpected ways, His wonders to perform. I was told that there are 3,000 promises in the Bible. Let us now expect all those blessings to come to pass. Among them we are promised riches and honor, eternal youth, and eternal life. Christianity is founded upon the forgiveness of sins in an empty tomb. We now know that all these things are scientifically possible. As we call on the law of forgiveness, we become free from mistakes and the consequences of mistakes. Then our bodies will be bathed in light and express the body electric, which is incorruptible and indestructible, pure substance expressing perfection. I expect the unexpected. My glorious good now comes to pass. And so it is.